Hey guys, this is Light, and probably the most asked question for the next week is going to be, should you pull scales or salami? And to be honest, it's a little difficult. I am usually the advocate of always pulling newer units, but scales might be a special case. And like, she's even discounted right now. So yeah, let's I have an analysis video on Salome, by the way, if you haven't watched it. But let's talk about skills, and I actually think they're decently similar units. And first of all, let's get rid of let's talk about like Guild War and Arena first. Um, like skills is she has quite the reputation. Like she trivializes both Arena and Guild War with her utility. Like there's literally Guild War offense Exodias with her, where you pair her with like immortal units in the front. Like you can do the same thing in Arena too. You pair skills with like immortal units in Arena and Guild War, and you're like unkillable, right? And like I feel like Salami will be pretty similar in that sense, cause like she'll also, you know, be able to clone your OP damage dealer and let you just kill everything. Like imagine you have like Salami, right? And you clone your Ross S3, or you clone your Dark Corvus S3 for Guild War, and then you just kill everything. Because like you can build Salami 280 speed while also having those S3s, so you just murder stuff, right? So in that sense, I think her usage um is very similar. They both have very similar usage in Guild War and Arena. However, I will say skills is better on defense than Salami would be. Probably. We don't know how her AI works, but probably will be more useful on defense. But I think they are equally valued in offense. And now, the thing about RTA though, well, you're probably here for RTA. I just want to get rid of the Guild War and Arena context. You're probably here for RTA. Oh, I should probably bring up the Salami video real quick. Um, so Salami is a cleave unit in RTA, very much like skills. Wait, let me bring up her abilities in case I forget them. Let's see. Yeah, so the thing about units in E7, if they don't have a passive for their S2, they're usually very vulnerable. Because like, to be a good bruiser in E7, you need survivability of some kind. For example, Ross is completely immune to debuffs and he has a second life. DN, she has 200 ER for free and 3 turns immortal. Free run, she doesn't take damage. Um, yeah, and Tori, she doesn't get debuffed on turn 1. She has damage limit. So yeah, to be a viable damage dealer in, you know, when you are slow, you have to have, you know, some form of survivability. As far as Salami goes, like she doesn't protect herself at all. And besides being able to hold Sweet Miracle, and even then, you are probably just dead. Because, like, you know, you don't respawn, you don't cleanse, you don't activate anything, you're just dead to cleave. So, with that said, Salami will only be a cleave unit, or she'll be a late pig, right? Because she doesn't really protect you in any way. Like she'll be a cleave unit, but of course, you can play her against people who are slow, right? No matter what, even if you're slow yourself. But with that said, she will mainly be a cleave unit because yes, she cannot protect herself. And I know stuff like, wow, what if you just clone stuff like Ruel? Well, yeah, sure, I guess. But like you can't really do that against like a Bryceria cleaver, right? So with that said, I think she is a cleave unit in RTA, and she also doesn't defend well against cleave. which is the one thing Scales does better than her. And so Scales is an interesting unit. I want to believe Smallgate is trying to phase her out, but I feel like it's impossible. Like, Scales is definitively the best cleave anchor in the game. She stops your team from dying. She makes your team do more damage. She also has a CR push and cleanse and can be built at 300 speed. So, if you compare Scales to Salome, Skills is kinda... I don't know, Skills has a solid spot in cleave. Whereas Salome will clone your DPS or something. Which is nice, I guess, but like she's not a bridge or anything. She doesn't enable your other units per se. But I guess it depends on what you clone. And also like the fact that you have to like, you know, wrap your head around it is kind of bad, because that means that means Salome is a dare I say high skill unit. And I don't think that really meshes well with E7 players, because if you think about the units that are really OP right now, it's like Skills, Nodos, like these units, you know, Ruel, Yuha, these units, or even Freeren, like these units are insanely broken with very little difficulty. Like you just press their S3 and win. But when you press Salome S3, you have 7 targets to choose from, and you have to be like, oh my god, what do I clone? Oh my goodness, what do I do? And just for that, right? Just for that, I think she's very she'll be very difficult to play. But also at the same time, she is a 280. She can be like a upwards of like a 300 speed unit, right? And she can use this to clone the abilities and the stats and the artifact, by the way, everything of a unit that would otherwise be really slow, right? Because we saw in this preview that Salome cloned the Hwayoung S3, right? Salome cloned the Hwayoung S3 when Hwayoung was all the way back in the bar. At some point I forgot, but yeah, Hwayoung is like all the way back in the bar, and Salome cloned her S3. So like that's pretty crazy. Being 290 speed and cloning a unit that would otherwise be base speed and not taking the turn, like that itself is pretty crazy. I can see like double rush shenanigans in like against slower players. I can see a lot of shenanigans actually, like double superhuman, some maybe even double Ruel revive, double Freeren S3. Like I can see a lot of potential there. But the issue is, I just feel like she'll be, I don't know, difficult to pull off, because, you know, it's a tough micro decision. Like what is the best thing to clone? Who knows? So yeah, from first look, I think she'll be difficult to play. Unlike Scales, who is a tried and true ultimate cleave anchor kind of unit, who is also resistant to cleave, which is pretty important. But they do have the same weakness though, in which they are both weaker if you slow down probably, but who knows. But that is my that's what I think. Now whether or not you should pull Salome or Scales, I don't know. I feel like there's no way to truly knock Scales out of the meta, because Cleave will always, you know, be good with her. So I don't know. I think if you want to be a cleaver, you should pull Scales, to be honest. But Salome definitely looks way more fun than Scales, I'm not gonna lie. I think it is I think it's a 60-40. I think it's in favor of Scales. it's hard to say. I'll say 60-40 in favor of skills, whether you pull skills or salami. It kind of depends on you as well. Like if you never cleave, like you don't really need skills. I have skills permaband, I never cleave, so yeah. Yeah, I'll say 60-40 skills. But if you're a slow player, maybe you don't even need skills, right? I honestly, yeah, if you're a slow player, you don't even need skills. If you're a slow player, I think you take the salami. If you're a fast player, you would take the skills probably. So yeah, anyway, I hope that was helpful. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.